moments ago, Larry, I think that you're telling me that you want to add X number of dollars for the business, and I'm saying, understand our position.
No.
Yeah,
I think you and I came to a tacit agreement.
Yeah.
On that issue.
Right.
But what I told you, I use the word prefer, and I use it very strongly. I prefer to walk away with $600,000 in my pocket versus any financing arrangement.
And I'd love to make that happen. We're not going to finance through you no matter what.
Hello, Gary's.
Larry, it's Danny, the laundry guy. How you doing, buddy?
Of course you're calling now. I've got a computer board in my left hand, but you're more important.
Man,
I'm not even supposed to pick up the phone unless it's an emergency.
Well, is it a dryer board?
Dryer board, yeah.
Yeah, I know all about it, Larry. Fixed many of those myself. You went ahead and got a bank appraisal for the building itself. So what do we know?
Hey, it's 645. He gave me a 79-page analysis, such as it is.
Yeah. Well,
and if you read it, he had no ability to compare the sale of a laundromat to anywhere. So I think he's just looking at the building and how it presents.
100%. That's precisely what I'm interested in, because if we go ahead and buy this building, sir, we are buying exactly that, the shell of a laundromat in a parking lot. You know, the bank is going to appraise whether it's a national chain, a Checker Auto Parts, an optometrist, or a laundromat. The bank says, okay, this is the age of the building, the construction of the building. We all know the story of the Three Little Pigs. Is it made out of hay or brick? And
Sure.
how long has it been there? Then the comparables are going to be with other commercial buildings, not comparables with other laundromats. That wouldn't really make sense.
Correct.
And to be clear, if we move forward with a purchase, we're not looking to buy your laundromat. I want to be clear about that. I thought you understood that.
Yeah. So right now, the building is off to the sidelines in the numbers we're talking about. The 645 that I told you doesn't really include a laundromat. It's just the building, the parking lot, the square footage, which is attractive at 3,400 plus. Not sure. Danny, did you want to go get your own appraisal on this?
No, I'm taking your bank appraisal and your word for what the building is worth. 100%.
Okay.
100%. So let's go ahead and cut the fat here. What is your estimate of your walkaway price? What do you want to collect?
I would like to collect $600,000
for the building and the laundromat.
For whatever is at the.
So you're taking moments ago, Larry. I think that you're telling me that you want to add X number of dollars for the business, and I'm saying, understand our position.
No.
Yeah,
I think you and I came to a tacit agreement.
Yeah.
On that issue.
Right.
But what I told you, I use the word prefer, and I use it very strongly. I prefer to walk away with $600,000 in my pocket versus any financing arrangement.
And I'd love to make that happen. We're not going to finance through you no matter what. But here's the thing, and I want you to take this very seriously. Knowing what you know about operating that business for the past how many years? How many years have you been running it?
50 in the family, 23 for me.
Knowing what you know about running that laundromat for 23 years, we're going to have to invest $600K and then an additional 3,500 square feet, from what I know, at a minimum of $400,000, to be polite, in washers and dryers. And that's if the infrastructure is still intact. You have three-phase electric there?
Yeah.
Okay. At a minimum. Now we're at $1 million price tag. So you're asking me to buy into $1 million laundry. I can't make that back for the next 23 years, the amount of time that you've been there. It's going to take me 75 years. So how would it make sense for me to do so?
Danny, if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Right.
this is a very complicated case, Maude. You know, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous.
But our discussions are important. And I want you to understand, if it's not Todd and I that move forward with this, anyone else hey, maybe you vanilla the space. Maybe you get rid of the laundromat. Maybe you finally go off into the sunset. But I want to go back to my original thought, which is, I don't know what you consider retirement, but a lot of people own millions of square feet. They are your age and older. They have systems in place where they don't work. They don't go to that place because it's not a business. You understand. And
Sure.
although you haven't figured that out in the 50 years your family has owned this place or the 23 years that you've operated, we're still giving you the opportunity to completely walk away, allow us to maintain the building, and collect a rent check. And but this is only if the 600 grand has already been emblazoned in your head because you want to buy an RV and move to the coast and get a nice bottle of scotch, I can't speak to that. But if you are interested in keeping the real estate for your kids and your grandkids and keeping that asset, then that's the offer that we are making.
Hey, maybe you and me could pool our resources.
You used the term operator last time we chatted. What is an operator?
The one who's running the business.
Okay.
So I have a commercial building with 4 suites. This is just a made-up scenario. I have a commercial building with 4 suites, a very small strip mall, a laundromat, an optometrist, a dental office, and a nail salon. So there are 4 operators. And I happen to operate the laundromat.
Okay.
I don't ever go in the laundromat. I have attendants. I have paid employees. I have someone who collects coin and cash, but I'm still the operator and the landlord. And then I have 3 additional operators. Even though there's 37 employees in the nail salon working away diligently every day, there's only 4 operators there. They're the folks that run the bit. Whether it's a McDonald's, it's not Ronald McDonald, it's the operator of McDonald's, it's the individual franchisees.
Understood. You also asked a question, or at least alluded to, or implied that there may be an emotional attachment to this place because we've been here so long.
There is.
I can assure you that there is no emotional attachment.
Well, all right.
I can assure you of that.
That kind of breaks my heart. I mean,
come on, you're being very dude.
You're the main guy. Do you have paid employees?
Well, my brother works here.
Yeah. And Todd told me your brother's not well. God bless you. I hate to hear that.
Yeah, he just had quadruple bypass.
Ugh.
But he's coming along 2 steps forward, 1 step back. He's anxious to get out of the hospital. He's in a physical rehab hospispittal. Are you in the Delaware Valley?
Yes.
Or are you somewhere else, Dan?
No,
you are. Oh,
this is my cell phone number. Listen, I want you're not trying to sell me a laundromat. You're trying to sell Todd and I a building. So therefore, I'm not going to go into what you've earned, what your profit margins are, any of that. I'm not going to ask. But you, Larry, have been an integral part. Your brother has been an integral part. You've been dragging your ass in there for 23 years. I get it. There's no emotional attachment.
Well, that's your perception.
And I assume you don't have a yacht in the harbor. I assume that you don't fly a helicopter to the laundromat every day. Substantial wealth comes from owning 30, 40 laundromats. But I'm not trying to twist the knife here, my friend. I'm saying you can continue to grow this asset by collecting a rent check, and you never have to step foot on that property again. It's still what I'm offering.
You run the interior, huh?
And we would make a deal with you so that you don't have to do building maintenance. The parking lot, all the way to the curb, to the city side, all of it. That's the deal that we would make. And then you, your kids, your grandkids maintain. That's what I called you about on the 7th of January. That's what I'm discussing today. And I want to make you understand, if we hand you $600K, it's $1 million laundromat. And you know as well as I do that $1 million is not in the future of this place. Unless I charge $35 a wash, which isn't realistic.
Right.
You got.
I just don't see it. Go ahead.
You've got something to think about, so think about it.
Yeah. But I did want you to know that this is strictly a business relationship with this place.
No, I hear you, of course.
All right. I'm not optimistic, Danny. I'll tell you the truth.
Deep breaths, Larry. Lots of deep breaths. I appreciate you. Either way, good, bad, or indifferent, talk to your lovely wife. Figure out what's best for you and your family. If you want to keep this asset, I don't know if you have other commercial space. I don't know if you have other assets. I'm not sure what the scenario is, but if you're thinking about the $600,000, that might not be realistic. It might be less. I'm not offering less. I'm not offering anything. I'm still saying what I said from day one. Now, we may offer later. You may put this on the market. You may bring in a business broker. There's a lot of things that you could do. I'm offering a zero-sum game where we give you a rent check. We've never even talked about what that rent check would be. If we give you $3,500 a month, there, now I said it, maybe that's not what you're earning now or have been earning. Maybe it's more. But you get to walk away, so your time is invaluable. Let me know. Call me, text me. We'll talk.
Okay.
Thank you, Larry, for the time.
All right, Danny, you bet.
Bye-bye. Every single time I talk to laundromat operators, it's heart-wrenching. Every single time, Todd. It's heart-wrenching. Is he emotionally attached to that laundromat?
Of course he is.
Of course he
He's
is.
invested a significant amount of his life into it.
23 years.
And it was a pretty good story, don't you think?
Now,
that's what he's owned it. His family has owned it for
50. He's trying to be a shark. I didn't shark this guy. There's no need for it. I like to talk to bad piece of shit landlords, slumlords. I love it. Arab horse traders. I love it. I enjoy doing what most people are fearful of. A knockdown, drag out, ball kicking fight with Iron Balls McGinta, right? I love it. This guy, can't help myself. I can't help but say what he needs to hear. You could hear his voice drop an octave, everything that I said. How does it make sense, Larry? I thought he was going to say that he wanted $645,000 for the building and another $100,000 for the laundry, didn't you?
Yeah.
I was sure he was about to ask for money for the laundry, and he didn't.
He went the other way.
He went the other way. He went the realistic way. He said, shit, I'll give you $50,000 off. And the ironic part is, it might be worth $600,000 if you put another business in there. You know, I'm supposed to be the guy that says, go, go, go. Todd, sign a lease. And then I sail off into the sunset, on to the next, right? I talk my clients out of more deals than we sign because this shit doesn't make sense. You want $1 million? There's 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 videos on YouTube right now with $1 million price tag laundromats. They're all kidding themselves. Read the comments. It's hilarious. I don't comment. I watch the video. I see what the people are doing. There's a guy with $1.7 million laundromat, and he's walking around, not one other person in there except for the guy holding the camera. It's sad. How are you going to recoup that cost, bro? Ever.
Yeah, one of the things I was hoping to hear from him was to jump into some of the numbers. You started touching on it about, what he makes, or I forget how you asked it, but trying to get into that. I was hoping he was going to say, oh, no, this thing makes...
No, but you understand why, you have to understand why I didn't. Doesn't matter. Todd, if he said, I want $100,000 for the laundry, the conversation would have gone in a very different direction, okay?
Now, am I wrong? Every
negotiation is what if. I show up to buy a Russian tank without a trailer. The guy knows I'm not serious. I got a wad of cash and a 40-foot trailer. He knows I'm going to buy the thing. Not a smart negotiation tactic. He says, 650 is the bank appraisal, I'll take 6. Just took the wind out of my sails. If he said, I want an extra $10 for the laundromat, I'd say, all right, let's talk numbers. What's it earning? I know it's not earning. And I did say at $1 a square foot on a lease that we would handle the maintenance. His whole mindset is he wants to go retire with his wife.
Yep.
Do I have this reputation? I'm this horrible person. No, I'm not going to make this guy cry. I could. I'm not a mind reader. If I were, I'd be in Vegas right now. I don't even play cards.
Still?
Mind reading wouldn't help me with dice. But I know what he was thinking. Why did he bring up, I'm not emotionally invested? Because he is. And that doesn't give me any pleasure. When his family brought him in there when he was 10 and said, sweep the floors, Larry, little Larry swept the floors and couldn't wait until school was back in session that fall. So he didn't have to sweep the floors anymore. When he graduated high school, moved his ass into the laundry or sometime thereafter. 23 years? It's a lifetime.
He's fragile. He's very fragile.
Yeah.
No other employees. That was the other thing. And that's the nerve that we can press. I saw you taking good notes. We talked to him again. He's going to bring up, well, I'm going to put it on the market and I'm going to try to sell the laundromat for $100,000. Then I'll lease it to someone. That's what he should do, right? What would you say if you were me? Right then and there, what would you say?
Have a nice day. We're not buying it.
No, you say you're going to end up with a schmuck for a tenant.
Oh.
If you find someone that's willing to give you $100,000, they're going to fall flat on their face and owe you $100,000.
Right.
We want to run. That's okay. It's hard to stay ahead of my mind. And no matter what, Larry, why? You want to collect appropriate and commensurate rent from a good operator. And I love when a guy like that's like, what does that mean? I'll tell him. I'll explain it.
Yeah.
I'm a multi-store operator, Larry, without ever stepping foot into a store. And I'm not afraid of salt of the earth work. He said he had a computer board, and I know that means a tumbler, right? Oh, well, you're more important. He's sitting there with grease on his hands, holding his phone up to his ear, like Mom used to do.
Yeah, because his brother's still in the hospital, and he's the one who maintained everything.
That was the nail in the coffin for this gentleman. Now his brother isn't there doing maintenance, building maintenance, equipment maintenance. That was their part and parcel. That was the way that they did things together. And now it's fallen apart. So I think that I pressed the nerve that was necessary by saying, we will handle all of it, won't you? You'll handle all of it, even if you have to hire somebody, because we're going to have a decreased rate of rent. Couldn't help myself, said a number, said $3,500 a month. It's not appropriate for me to ask him, well, what do you owe on the building? He doesn't owe anything. It's a family business. I just want 6 and I'm out. You were saying, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Now, the one marker is the $3,500 a month to lease it. And then there's some additional amount that it would be to actually own it. And that, of course, would eat into any profits that I would get. And you were touching base on this before we called him. But there's some point in there where it might be reasonable or make sense, or it's kind of a judgment call of what that is. I mean, if I can buy it and it's a $4,000 a month, own the whole place, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what that would be and how to figure that out.
Do you know how you figure it out? It's not a trick question.
Sure your wisdom's good.
You can't.
Right.
There are a lot of liars, snakes, charlatans that will tell you what a laundromat that's this size in this demographic will earn. And the truth is, the answer is profit. You profit when you lease the space at a reasonable and commensurate rate of rent, and you retool it with equipment at the proper price. Period. You do not, Todd, want to be Larry. That's the point of this conversation.
My wife is reminding me of that every time we talk about this place.
Oh, no, yeah. Well, the only mistake you could make is saying, well, I'm just going to work here for a couple of weeks. And then 23 years later, you're ready to swallow a bullet.
Yeah.
The most important thing is this. Stop talking to these people, A, and B. Now, look, I want you to, if you get a call from a blocked line in 20 minutes, don't get excited and think it's him and answer it. Come on. Let it go to voicemail.
Right.
Listen to what it says. Type it out, put it in the document, and let me know. That's the way we play the game, unfortunately. It may seem like 8th grade tactics, but it's the way we have to play. Because I guarantee he'd rather talk to you than me.
Of course.
And now...
Well, that leads to...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, that leads to the other guy I texted you yesterday. Did text me. I did not reply back to him.
Good.
He was a landlord, property manager guy who we've been trying to get a hold of.
All right, good. We'll call him on your regular day. Now,
fair enough.
What do we do with this store? Keep an eye on it. Feed me other locations. What is in my heart is to make sure that you do obtain that word, which is profit. And the best way to do that, sign a lease.
Got it.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you, Dan. See ya.
I'm pretty sure this hot water heater's got a few more good years left in it.